the Occupy Kingwood videos. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to talk about what it means to be a progressive. So I think what I want to do is start with foreign policy today and then work into economic policy and social policy over the next couple of weeks leading up to the election. In foreign policy, progressives believe that the way to get America safe and the way to prevent threats to America is by engaging in the world in a positive way. Building coalitions, building alliances, not through fear, not by throwing around a big stick. Progressives want to reduce our military so that we are not as big a threat to countries around the world, but at the same time, talk to them, try to understand their point of view, and figure out if there are ways that we can agree where there is common ground. In the end, we will be much safer if we can get people to like us than if we get people to fear us. And, you know, in the VP debates, Paul Ryan talked about we believe in peace through strength. I remember hearing this my first presidential election in 1980. Ronald Reagan talked about peace through strength. Well, guess what? We've had this philosophy of peace through strength for 32 years, and we are now involved in more wars and more violence than we've ever had before. If you have a big army, the army wants to use it. The politicians want to use it. They want to do by fiat what they cannot do by negotiation. So as a progressive, what we need to do is think differently about our role in the world. We are not the world's policeman, we are the world's leader. And in the same way we might lead a company by getting people to see things from our point of view, that's how we have to engage the world.
Okay, I thought Joe Biden stepped up and took it to Paul Ryan, and it was a demolition job on Thursday night. One of the great lines that stood out was the one that said, where he called him and said, "So now you're Jack Kennedy," which was so reminiscent of when Senator Benson just devastated Dan Quayle in that debate, whenever that was, in the '88 campaign, I guess it was. So now it's up to the chief to step up. The old man, the old pro has shown the way, and the election really is hanging in the balance, but Joe Biden told the truth and was aggressive, and what a lift it is to our side and our cause. So I'm looking forward to Tuesday night to see Obama take it to Romney and turn this election totally around.
Thank you, Professor Davis. Future State Representative Cody Pogue.
Hi, I'm Cody Pogue. I'm running for Texas House of Representatives right here in this area, representing Humboldt, Kingwood, Atascocita, and Huffman. You know, our schools have been under attack for a while here. A lot of people think Dan Uberty supports education. He's cut it pretty bad. He even tried to pass a law to where you could pass teachers by email, and I believe that's unacceptable. We need to fight for our public schools. It looks like in this coming election, the big issue is going to be school choice. Should our tax dollars go to funding local public schools, or should they go to funding online schools like University of Phoenix just for high school and middle school?
We're at halftime. We passed 2 debates now. Joe Biden, Paul Ryan. Some people say Joe Biden was rude to Paul Ryan. Maybe so, maybe not. Joe Biden reacted to Paul Ryan's budget plan and other proposals with a laugh. And that was kind. Because really, Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney are making proposals in this election that are going to gut with people that have worked for years in this country. People like my grandfather, who worked for a union, was a plasterer in the city of Philadelphia, fought with other union members for workers' rights, for things like Social Security, eventually for things like Medicare and other rights for workers and the general working class.
All right, Jimmy, I heard you had a whole lot to say this morning. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I have a little bit to say about the 100,000 women in Texas who are covered under Medicaid and supported by the programs in Texas, who about half of them are going to lose their health care provider when Planned Parenthood goes out of, is defunded. If it's defunded. If it's defunded in November. then you'll see about almost half of those women lose their health care provider. I have one more thing this week is, I guess the word is flip-flop, because we've got Romney saying one day that he's not going to support any legislation. He has no plans for any legislation to change anything about women's rights and women's choices. But the very next day, he's committed to defunding Planned Parenthood, and he's definitely a pro-life guy who's going to fight that fight. So who is he? Republicans need to find out who he is, what side he stands on, especially Republican women and people who love Republican women. They need to know who they're voting for.